Hey everyone, welcome to the Branding Teacher, the place for entrepreneurs and small business owners to learn how to brand and market their businesses. I'm Scott Burgess and I'm so excited you are here. Today is my first kind of official video on the channel. I have a promo for the website, but this is really the first video where I'm going to be talking about who I am, what the Branding Teacher is, my experience, and why you guys are all here. So let's get into it. So I am Scott Burgess, and I have over 11 years of branding and marketing experience across so many different industries. I've worked in fintech, commercial real estate, construction, retail, hospitality, cannabis, and I even ran my own marketing agency called the Burgess Agency for a while, and that's what's actually made me so successful at branding. I've had to work across so many different industries and learn each one and understand what their customers need in order to successfully market their brands. So all this time, throughout my entire career of developing strategic marketing campaigns, running social media, running marketing departments, running my own agency, I've came to realize that my favorite aspect of marketing is actually branding. And to me, branding is the number one most important aspect of your marketing because it's how people perceive you and it can actually make or break potential clients. So during this entire time, I've been working my way up. I graduated from the University of North Carolina in Wilmington with a degree in communication studies, started working for a local mom and pop coastal lifestyle store. I was running all their marketing. I even ran all the marketing for the Bud Light Lime kiteboarding team, which was really cool and exciting to do. So I just started slowly working my way up the ladder and growing my skills. I moved down to Jacksonville, Florida, started working for a national real estate investment trust, started out as a lonely little marketing assistant, and was quickly promoted to assistant marketing manager where I ran the marketing for all three regions. Moved on from there, moved down to Miami, and started working for another commercial real estate company. And this was actually when the whole branding thing kind of started happening for me. So this company had just merged with another company when I came on board, and they were trying to figure out a way to incorporate the brands. So the headquarters out in Utah decided, hey, we're just going to send our normal brand out to everywhere and it's going to work. Well, that really didn't work in the Miami market where people are so used to things looking visually appealing, looking great. You really had to stand out in a world, or a city, I should say, that is so concentrated on real estate with all the big high rises and developments and new commercial shopping centers popping up. So the brand was very heavy, very dark, and it just wasn't working. So I came back and developed a brand new version of the brand. It was a lot lighter, a lot fresher, a whole lot more modern. And my boss loved it, showed it to the president of the company. They loved it and started rolling it out nationwide. So that was my first big win in branding. And that's where I got the branding bug, as you can say. My next role, I started working for a construction company, and I'm not going to go through all my roles. I'm just going to kind of give you the background of how I came to be in branding. And the brand was so old looking, horrible. It was very ancient. The website literally looked like it was from 2005. And this company did high quality construction work, but there was a disconnect between what the customers were seeing with the final product and what they were being sold during the whole marketing sales aspect of it. So I came in, revamped the logo, redid the website, redone all the marketing materials, made it look super modern and fresh. They loved it. It helped them land more high profile customers. And so that was a huge win for me. That was the second time the branding bug got over me. During this time, I decided, hey, I want to go out on my own as a little side hustle and start my own marketing agency, which I did. It was called the Burgess Agency, and I loved the whole process of developing that brand, from making the logo, developing the messaging, creating the website, figuring out what colors to use, how I'm going to speak to people, what am I going to say, all that shit I loved. So after I left that company, I went full-time in my marketing agency, was pretty successful there, and then ended up getting recruited at a fintech startup that was based in Miami, and I was brought in to build the marketing department as well as build the brand. The brand was really in its infancy. There was some sort of look, we had the logo already down before I came on board, and the color palette and the fonts, but other than that, everything else was really up to be completely revamped. So I came on board, developed all the messaging, developed all the marketing, developed the whole new style and look of the brand, and now it's a global fintech company that's really on its way to become a unicorn. A unicorn is $1 billion company. So as I was going through that, I realized that, hey, I really love branding. So this fall, we decided to part ways. And leading up to this decision, I had been getting so many signs from the universe, and I'm a huge believer in the universe, in energy, in horoscopes, in looking and believing your intuition and believing in signs. So in the months, I would say not really months, maybe a month or two, but really the weeks leading up to this departure, I started seeing a lot of signs, a lot of articles started popping up in my news feed, started popping up when I would go read Google News, just about creating, passive income, creating your own business, how to build your own brand. All these things were really starting to pop up a lot. And then it kind of clicked on me. I don't really want to do general marketing anymore. I fucking hate email campaigns. I hate running social media. I hate all that shit. I don't care about it. What I truly love to do and excel at is branding and brand building. So I decided, hey, this go around, as I go on my own again and really become an entrepreneur again, taking away that safety net of having a full-time role, that I need to change it and change it in a way that will make me more happy and make me more marketable and make me feel like I have a true purpose in life. So I've decided to really focus back in on branding because this is what I'm good at. Even my president at the company I just left said that I'm the best in the business that she's ever worked with in branding, and she's been working in her career for like 20 years now. So I think that says a lot of how good I am and how much I really enjoy it. So switching gears a little bit, now that you know the back history of, where I came from, I get asked this question a lot. Why the branding teacher? So for years now, I've had friends, colleagues, past colleagues, family members reach out to me pretty regularly asking me opinions on their brand, on their logos. Do I like how this looks? Do I like how this sounds? And I would always give them advice, and advice they would actually take. And they continue to always reach out for questions. So to me, this is a business. And prior to my marketing career, I wanted to become a high school history teacher. I love history and I love teaching. As a little kid, I used to play teach in my room to my stuffed animals. I'd pull out all my books, all my encyclopedias, pretend like I had a whole classroom. I would grade fake papers. I would even go so far, now I'm a kid of the 90s, I was born in the 80s, but I grew up in the 90s. I would even take my desk light, which was that kind of white rectangle fluorescent light that probably was full of harmful chemicals, and I would turn it up against the wall or sometimes my blinds because it was nighttime and it'd be very bright, and I would turn off the lights and I would pretend I had an overhead projector. And yes, that probably just dated me, but they probably don't even use overhead projectors anymore. But I would actually paste like tape papers to the wall and pretend to teach my class. So always loved teaching. I mean, what kind of fucking kid pretend teaches? If you did that, comment below and let me know I wasn't just crazy. So fast forward to high school, and I participated in Teacher Cadet. And this is a program where high school juniors and seniors go out to the local elementary schools for a semester and help out the teachers. We teach lessons. It's really a way for students to get their feet wet and see if they really want to go into education. I loved it. It was great. So I decided to pursue a career in education. However, in the back of my mind, I knew it wasn't enough. And I knew that there was something greater for me and that I wasn't fully satisfied. So I ended up getting this scholarship called the North Carolina Teaching Fellow Scholarship, which was a lot of work to get, but they basically pay you, or give you, I should say, $20,000 to go to school to become a teacher in North Carolina, with the stipulation that you have 7 years to return to North Carolina. You had to actually go in-state somewhere, but return to North Carolina and teach for 4 years to repay that debt. So as a 17-year-old, I was like, this is amazing. Why not go for it? Got my first choice school of University of North Carolina Women's and was so excited to go there. They had the best teaching fellows program out of any of the universities, an amazing director. I dived into it, and as I got more and more into the classroom, especially that junior year, I was in a very bad high school, very bad, and I just hated it. I hated it. It was not it wasn't for me. And I also knew that teachers don't make a lot of money, and I don't really want to be poor my whole life. So I ended up changing my major halfway through my junior year. I was already in my senior level thesis classes for history. I, was well on my way to graduating on time. And unfortunately, this means I had to give up that scholarship. And I switched majors to become a communication studies major. And the reason I chose this is I had so many friends who were doing communication studies, and they seemed like they were having so much more fun. It seemed a lot easier, but it's really not easier. It just wasn't as research intensive as history or education, and there was so much more you could do with it. You could become a publicist, you could become a marketer, you could do this or that. So you could really, it has a wide range of being able to apply to a lot of different professions. So now that you know the backstory of my marketing background, my teaching background, you're going to see that those are my two true passions. So now with the branding teacher, I'm truly merging my teaching passion and my marketing passion. My third passion is roller coasters, by the way, just a little tidbit. So I'm merging them together to create this platform where I'm going to teach other people, other entrepreneurs, other business owners how to brand and market their businesses. I'm going to be uploading videos every week, giving you free tips, free how-to guides. It might be like how to create your logo, how do you determine your brand name, any kind of things involving branding and some marketing are going to be uploaded here weekly. I'm also in the process of developing an amazing online course that's called Do It Yourself Branding for Entrepreneurs. And it's going to give you a lot more information than you can find on this channel. And it's going to walk you through the entire branding process from start to finish when you're building your business. How do you develop your name? How do you figure out what your brand's going to look like? How do you develop your messaging? What is going to go on your website? These are all the things that you're going to learn in this. And you'll actually do a case study with me on a fake business where I'm going to walk you through each of those steps. So it's going to be very intensive, and it's going to have a lot of value though. And the reason I decided to go the online course route is, like I said, I'm always getting asked questions about how to do this. As an entrepreneur, you usually have to do everything yourself at the beginning. You're creating the brand, you're doing all the marketing, you're doing all the sales, you're doing the accounting, you're doing everything, and it's a lot to handle. And you might not have that branding or marketing or even graphic design or the creativity, to do this. So the goal with me doing this is to help you develop your brand on your own, to save you time and money. Time, because it's a lot of work to work with a marketing agency and tell them what you want. Yes, they'll do it for you, but it's gonna come at a hefty price. And money, because branding is expensive. And if you can save a few $1,000s here, it's gonna really help you as your business takes off, until you get that cash flow to really hire help. So I've looked around, there's a lot of people who do similar things, but they all have different niches. A lot of them are personal YouTube brands. How do you brand yourself on social media? How do you do this? That's not what I'm doing. My goal is to actually teach you the skills so you can go out there and do it yourself. And this channel is only going to be about branding. It's going to have some marketing scattered here and there, but it really is going to be all about branding. So I'm super excited about that. Do-it-yourself branding for entrepreneurs will be launching in November. So if you're watching this video off my channel and actually on my website in the About Me section, it might be a little dated. It'll probably be out by now. So just go to the online course section and see what's out there. Eventually I'll be adding additional courses as well. But for right now, Do-It-Yourself Branding for Entrepreneurs is going to be the main course. I also am going to be offering some one-on-one brand coaching sessions where I'll spend an hour with you and go over your brand, give you tips and tricks and advice on what to do. And there's also 2 other services I do offer, brand strategy sessions, which is where I will actually go through with you, and it's a pretty intensive process of figuring out your entire brand. I won't actually create any of the items for you. That's where you would have to either learn on your own or hire someone to do it for you. And then I actually will do a whole branding overhaul if you wanted to as my super premium package, where I would do it all for you. So stay tuned. There's gonna be a lot of great videos and great tips getting uploaded here. Pretty soon on my website there'll be a whole resource section where you can download templates, guides, walk me through guides. So many great tips and tricks will be there. So yeah, I'm really excited about this channel. Stay tuned. It's going to be taking off very soon. But in the meantime, get out there, learn some shit, and let's build your brands together.